We have one, so we're going to go ahead and get our meeting started for September the 6th, 2016. We're here in the library. Mr. John, Councilmember Bond, would you lead us in the pledge?
Everybody stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Neil, would you please call the roll, please?
Councilmember John Vaughn.
Here.
Councilmember Mike Brown.
Here.
Mayor Bob Hope.
Here.
Councilmember Brendan McMillan. Mayor Pro Tem Betty Walsh.
Okay, we're going to have public participation. Is there anybody wish to speak on any item other than the agenda? Good evening, Esquire. How you doing?
We're good. We
Okay, if not, we'll bring it back to the council for public hearings. Resolution 2016-17 is adopting the millage for year of 2016-17. We have a summary of the City Council adopted Resolution 2016-13, tentative proposed millage of 3.235 on July the 6th, or July the 21st, 2015. And this year we're on our rollback. We're going down to 346, which is less than last year's rollback. So this is 2 years in a row that we went back below the rollback rate. So our overall millage this year is the 3.6, or 3.46, I'm sorry, and 3.06 for the library. Mr. Green, would you like to jump in on anything?
Yes, basically, very briefly, we've been through a number of the workshop with the City Council on the tentative proposed budget. It is a lower tax rate than last year, is what we're proposing, and it's in staff's judgment, it meets the needs of the community, present and future. It's a very responsible spending plan, and from a millage point of view, we continue to maintain our position as compared to other municipalities in Brevard County. We are the third lowest tax rate city in the county, and clearly I think we're among the highest service level communities as well. So staff would recommend that the City Council adopt resolution number 2016-17 and move through this hearing.
Okay, Council, anybody have anything they want to add?
Been through this quite a bit with David, and I've read this thing back to back 3 times, and I think staff did a great job.
I think personally, you know, there's a lot going on, as you're all well aware, in the city. I just made a couple notes that I was really, with going back to rollback last year and this year, and we're still maintaining the parks. We just completed Banana Park, we did a pavilion, kayaking, putting greens, bocce ball court up there, Manatee Park. We relocated a lift station into Manatee Park. We improved the parking area, the dock's been improved, wastewater. We're doing a new belt press out at the, completed that new belt press, a 2.5 million gallon storage tank out at wastewater. We're rebuilding lift station 6 and 7, which is quite an accomplishment. North Atlantic streetscapes, stormwater. We're going into the new stormwater type C inlets all throughout the city. Plenty of exfiltration. City Hall parking lot, the new City Hall's going up, community garden, bulbing mats. There's all kinds of things happening, and I can't see where we need to go in a different direction in this city. I think we're headed the right way. With the rollback 2 years in a row, I can't see where we have to change anything. And I applaud staff, Mr. Esquire, our manager, Mr. DeLeo, all the staff, Gus, David, and Todd Morley's absent, and Josh. I think you guys are doing a great job. Fire service, police department, great job. Thank you guys. That's all I got to add. I'd like to have a motion on it.
If I may just make a point for clarification, the resolution, we need to be sure that we refer to this as the proposed tentative millage rate, because we have to adopt the final millage rate at the second meeting in September. So what we need to do in this particular instance is substitute and just make sure adopting a proposed tentative millage rate.
I'd like to have Mr. Esparza, I should have it read.
Sure.
Chuck.
Okay, it's Resolution 2016-17, a resolution of the City of Cape Canaveral, Brevard County, Florida, adopting a proposed tentative millage rate for the levy of ad valorem taxes for fiscal year 2016-2017 on all taxable property located within the City of Cape Canaveral, Brevard County, Florida, providing for an effective date.
Thank you.
Yeah, well,
What's that?
I've just got another comment, and that is, there are only two minor municipalities in the entire county that their tax rate is lower than ours, and so it's fantastic. And we're doing all these improvements with no long-term debt. So again, hats off to everybody that worked on this. Resolution, motion to approve Resolution 2016-17.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Bond and a second by Councilmember Brown. Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Bond,
Motion to approve, yes.
Approved.
Councilmember Brown,
For the motion.
Mayor Hogue,
Or,
Councilmember McMillan, Mayor Pro Tem Walsh.
Just to clarify, this is a public hearing, yes.
okay, we'll move on to ordinance number 03-2016, adopting the annual general fund, wastewater enterprise fund, stormwater enterprise fund, and the capital fund, special revenue funds, and capital project funds. Mr. Garganese, would you like to read this before we go into it?
yes, sir. Ordinance number 03-2016, an ordinance of the City of Cape Canaveral, Brevard County, Florida, adopting the annual general fund, wastewater enterprise fund, stormwater enterprise fund, enterprise capital fund, special revenue funds, capital project funds, and agency fund budgets for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2016 and ending September 30th, 2017, providing an effective date. This ordinance proposes the adoption of the tentative budget and also a public hearing item. Mayor.
Okay. We're talking about a 5.3 decrease from last year to this year. And our total budget is $34.5 million. And I don't really have anything other to say, and I looked through it and did discuss it with Mr. Green, and I'm ready to move. You guys
I've got nothing to say.
need a motion?
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, public hearing. Public
I'm
hearing.
sorry, this is a public meeting, I forgot.
If anyone wishes to.
Anybody need to say anything about the budget? Bring it back to the council.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept ordinance number 03-2016, adopt an annual general fund, wastewater enterprise fund.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Brown and seconded by Mr. Bond. Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Bond,
For the motion.
Councilmember Brown,
For the motion.
Mayor Hogue,
Or,
Councilmember McMillan, Mayor Pro Tem Walsh.
okay, that takes us up to item 3 on the agenda. It's a new business item, and it's authorizing the city manager to engage a hearing officer to consider the appeal to variance number 2016-02 and make recommendations to the council. Mr. Green.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, council members, at the regular meeting held on August 23rd, 2016, the Board of Adjustment considered and unanimously approved a variance number 2016-02, which authorized a side yard setback variance for property located at 127 Oak Lane. The applicant is the Sharopa LLC. Mr. Lennon, who resides at 126 Oak Lane, has filed an appeal to the board's action. He did that on August 26, 2016, made certain comments and allegations, and feels aggrieved by the board's decision. He's requested an appeal which is permissible and authorized by the city code. Under the city code, the city council actually hears the appeal and makes the final decision in this particular case. Because of the circumstances involved, staff is recommending that the city council allow me to engage the services of a hearing officer to hold the public hearing and allow Mr. Lennon and other parties to present their evidence and their viewpoint on the overall variance decision, and that would, of course, entitle Sharopa LLC an opportunity as well. And in this particular case, because of the allegations and the concerns that have been addressed to the city council as well as staff, we feel that the best process at this point would be to engage the services of a hearing officer to take the testimony, hear the evidence, and submit a report and recommendation to the city council on the appropriate action. So consistent with the code, the city council would make the final determination regarding the appeal. But initially, in all respects, a hearing officer, an independent party, and at this point, none of us know who that person's going to be. And I think for now, that's our best position in all respects. And ultimately, we'll engage the service and employ the hearing officer and then go about going through the appeal process and allow everyone the opportunity for due process and to express their various thoughts and opinions and positions on why Mr. Lennon feels it's appropriate to appeal the board's decision. So at this point, we're asking the council to authorize me as city manager to engage a hearing officer to consider the appeal to variance number 2016-02 and make recommendations to the city council accordingly.
Okay. I'd like to go into the public probably before we get. Oh, there's no mic.
Hi, look at your, is it on?
Look, turned off. Batteries.
Hold it.
Battery.
It was full, the battery was full. There's a couple of batteries right there.
Yeah. Oh, that is you, Jones.
All right.
Okay, we have one card. We'll go to public first and then we'll do the motion. Alicia Spring, 122 Oak Lane.
I'm satisfied at this point, thank you. I have nothing to say right now.
All right, okay. Go ahead.
My question is, how close are we to resolving this? If we're pretty close, it seems like the parties can get together, and there's always some gray area that maybe we can work without the city spending extra money. We're talking about feet in this variance. How many feet are we talking about that there's a discrepancy or there's a...
The
we're trying to resolve?
the variance that was granted was 4 feet, and the entire Board of Adjustment decision is a quasi-judicial matter, and Mr. Lennon has appealed the decision that they made. And so at this point, it wouldn't be appropriate for the city council to engage in trying to split the baby or resolve the differences, because we have a number of parties that are involved and some disagreement with surveys that were conducted between the parties at the point in time of when the building permit was issued and those kinds of things. The city relied upon the surveys that were submitted for that particular address. And it was certified by a licensed Florida surveyor that meets all the requirements of law. And we are not in a position typically to question the surveyor and his credentials and his decision and doing the survey. So, Councilmember Brown, in this particular instance, because of the allegations and the other issues, this is appropriate and right for a hearing officer, because a decision must be made as to whether or not the variance granted was appropriate based upon the preponderance of evidence and information presented at the hearing. And with a quasi-judicial kind of setting, the staff's memos and reports and presentations are considered to be competent and substantial evidence because of the nature of the staff's role in this particular instance. So, trust me on this, without question, it would be best for this to go before a hearing officer and have an independent party render an opinion to the city council on the appropriate action.
Okay, I understand that, but has the opportunity been given just to, did they both turn it down where it's just split down the middle? And they basically...
The actual variance granted was 4 feet, which is probably about just a little bit longer than my cane.
Right.
Okay? So that's what everybody's arguing about.
So we're within 4 feet.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, I mean, 4
Well,
feet
the
is still...
variance that was granted was a 4-foot variance. And there has been additional survey work done on the street, and interesting to note that there is a difference of opinion between some of the two surveyors involved with this particular property, but I think that's been resolved as to accuracy.
I've read the letters, the rebuttals to those letters, the allegations involved, the legalities, and it's not easy, and I think engaging the hearing officer would be a very wise move. Nobody wants to spend a little extra money, but in this case, I think it would be a wise move.
I'm going to stay neutral. I'm just going to agree with the city staff. I've discussed it, and I just will agree with Mr. Greeno. Paul?
My only issue, if you advise that everything's been worked out, and there's no resolution at all, and we have to go to a hearing officer, and it can't be worked out between the parties, I'm all for the hearing officer. And if that's the point we're at, where nobody can reach agreement, then...
That's where we
go
think we
forward.
are, yes.
Go ahead and add. Oh, you can make the motion. No.
I make a motion that we engage a hearing officer to consider the appeal of variance number 2016-02.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on to authorize the city manager to engage a hearing officer to consider the appeal to the variance of 2016-02.
Councilmember Bond,
For the motion.
Councilmember Brown,
For the motion.
Mayor Hogue,
Or,
Councilmember McMillan, Mayor Pro Tem Walsh.
okay, that completes our agenda. Anybody need to say anything real quick? Reports? Anybody got anything to add? Mr. Esquire? No report.
Nothing.
I'll wait till the regular meeting, my report.
Okay, second. Adjourn.